What is up, you guys? It is Brad here, and today I am here in Mumbai, India, and we're going to do some Lego shopping. I am just here in India on vacation, and while I'm here, I figured I might as well check out and see if there is any Lego. So in this video, I'm going to be bringing you to all of the stores I go to as I hunt for some pretty cool Lego sets. Also, I apologize in advance, but I don't have my mics on me right now, and it is very loud.
So this journey for me actually started a few days earlier when I hopped on the train and headed to Pearson International Airport during this incredible sunset. Obviously, I got to the airport, and one of the very first things I saw when I got there was the Toronto Pearson Lego store.
I actually found my first Lego thing of the entire trip right here. This is in Terminal 3 at Toronto Pearson Airport. They've got this Lego store, which is pretty cool. So I just filmed a whole tour of it for my short form, which is pretty fun. I did not see an employee the whole time I was there, but it's a pretty cool store and they've got some neat things. So now I am finished making that video, and I am on my way to the lounge. My reservation actually started 5 minutes ago, so I am excited. I'm excited to get there. All right, I'm here in the lounge now. Very nice. Got some food, and I'm gonna watch some YouTube or something like that before my flight.
So I had a couple hours to kill in the lounge here. I relaxed a little as well as edited some videos, and then it was already time to get on my red-eye flight. First stop was London. I tried to sleep for a majority of this flight because it was a red-eye, and then when I landed in London, I really had to hustle because I had 45 minutes to make my connecting flight. Luckily, I made the flight with just a few minutes to spare, and then I was off to India. Here on this flight, they kept it dark the entire time, but I did also try and do some video editing so I wouldn't be that behind when I got home. Around 4 a.m. local time on Thursday, I finally arrived in Mumbai, India, and you guys aren't gonna believe it, but one of the very first things I saw when I got to the airport was a duty-free selling Lego sets.
It kind of looks like a display that you'd see in a Lego store, but I've actually never seen one like this before. They've got a huge variety of sets right here, including like the Minecraft crafting table, the really cool Lego Panda. They've also got a ton of Harry Potter and Technic, as well as some Star Wars, Ninjago, and Friends. They've also got some of the festive Lunar New Year sets as well. Over here on this side, of course, they've got the Lego Dreams, they've got some City, more Creator, and some Duplo, and the Botanicals. And over here, they've even got more Animal Crossing and Minecraft. One thing I've noticed right off the bat is all the boxes are quite different than the ones we'd see in North America. So for starters, some of them here have the age, the set number, and the set name, but no piece count. Others do have the piece count. And then there are some other ones with literally just the set number. Also, there are no prices on any of the sets right here, so I'm assuming they must be underneath. No price on that one. I have no idea. I see one on this one. Okay, looks like 1,740 rupees. I am not sure what that converts to, but yeah, it's so interesting seeing all the different ones here. As I said, I just think that's a really cool display. They've even got all these base plates here as well. I know these are $10 in Canada, and it looks like they are 820 rupees here. I'll have to put the conversion on screen because I have no clue. Then we've also got some botanical ones here. These ones look like they're 4,570. Oh my gosh, look at the minions. Lots of fun sets here.
After making a quick pit stop to do some Lego shopping, it was indeed time to leave the airport and go home and go to sleep so I could start the day bright and early. There's no time to waste on a trip though. The Lego hunt must begin. So first things first in the morning, I went on a little walk, took my first ever rickshaw ride around the city, which I do have to say was an incredible experience. I grabbed a quick bite to eat, went to the beach for the first time, walked around a couple markets, and then it was already time to visit my first store selling Lego. Alright, so this is the first store I have found here on my travels so far. It looks like a toy store. I'm gonna go on inside and check it out and see if they have any Lego. Walking into the store here, I was amazed by how full of toys it was. And I noticed right away that they had a ton of Lego on the back wall here. Given that this is the first toy store I've gone into in India, I was actually pretty surprised by the Lego selection that they have because as you guys can see, they've got a great stockpile of Lego. They've got a few things here like this very discolored Harry Potter set. They had a bunch of the Lego City Space set, some Lego City Friends, Lego Technic, Lego DC, and Lego Marvel. All of the Lego sets in the store were actually behind the counter, so you couldn't really easily go look at them. You could only see what they had on the front right here, but so far most of what I've seen is sets that are currently available. They also, however, had all of these alternate brick brand sets. These are from brands that I've actually never heard of before. They had a bunch of cars right here. Down here they had ones that look a little bit more like Lego knockoffs. They're actually called Tech Bricks, and it looks very similar to the Lego logo, and the boxes are strikingly similar. You guys can see they had a ton of those there. I also noticed this set right here. It was called a My World set with a red logo that actually said the word brick in it. You can see they had a variety of ones here, and obviously this looks just like Minecraft with the font and everything there, and the figures look very, very similar. I didn't really get a chance to see what the price of any of the Lego sets were in this store, but this set right here was 12.99 rupees, which is just under 15 American dollars. On the other side of the store, I did find this cool Lego Ninjago book, but I also found all of these other what I would call knockoff Lego sets. Some were completely different, but then others here look just like Lego Creator 3-in-1s or even Lego Batman movie sets. I did find, however, that they also had a bunch of the Lego collectible minifigures here, which were pretty cool. They had 3 different series to choose from, including the brand new Spider-Verse series right here. This is the first time I ever saw the label on the back of them, and I was actually trying to read and figure out how much it is. You can see these are 499 rupees, which is about $5.62 American, or about $8 Canadian. So just a little bit more expensive than what you'd find them for here.
Alright, so it was pretty cool to check out that first store there. You guys saw they actually had a pretty good amount of Lego. They also had a lot of knockoff Lego that I've never seen before. And so far from what I've learned about Lego in India, it is pretty expensive here. Not many people actually have it, and just based on like the little prices that I did see, it does cost a lot of money. But it's still pretty cool to see that they have all of the new sets.
And of course, in addition to all the Lego shopping that I'm going to do, I'm also planning to check out a lot of the shops here along the strip because they've got some really cool things.
Not gonna lie, I'm a pretty big souvenir guy.
So after that first store, I continued on my Lego shopping adventures, and it wasn't so long after that, I found another store here that looked like it might be selling some potential Lego. Although, on second glance, it might not actually be Lego, so let's go inside and check it out. Not gonna lie, you guys, this store definitely did throw me off a little because as soon as I went inside, I realized there was not a single light on. Right off the bat, I did find a stack of the fake My World sets here, but honestly that's pretty much all I found because it was so dark in this toy store. I actually didn't spend too much time looking, although I did not see any official Lego, so I didn't actually stay for much longer. After that, I just continued to explore India and see all the different sites. Enjoy this video of me attempting to try and cross the road. You guys, it was a little crazy.
Alright, day 2, I am in a different part of Mumbai here, and we're gonna continue the hunt for some Lego.
First store I'm going to check out here today is this one. I can see a lot of toys in the window, so I'm excited to see what I'll find.
This store not only had some candy, but of course they also had some Lego sets. So they had a couple different Lego City ones here, like the horse trailer. They had some knockoff Disney princesses right beside it, and then they had a bunch of other random toys as well. You can see that it's very hard to see what Lego sets they have because they're literally just stacked in the corner right here, and you're kind of actually supposed to ask people what you're looking for and they tell you versus just coming in to do a little browsing and stuff. But you can see they did have some other of these knockoffs here. I think these ones are even different brands than what we saw yesterday. The store employee then helped me move some of the Lego sets out of the way, and you could actually just see how deep these sets go, but they're not organized or anything like that. You can see this one here. It's pretty funny because they do have all the different manufacturing labels added to the box there, and then on this side, this one is actually the price tag, so you'll be able to see the price is like 1,200 rupees, which is about 13.50 USD or about 20 Canadian dollars, so not too bad there. But this store had a lot more Lego City sets for sure than the other ones, and then they also had some Ninjago as well. And then I thought these ones were pretty crazy. This is the first time I've seen a box that has such a similar logo to the Lego logo on it. You can see this one is called Mission Paw. That is pretty nuts. And then again, here's just kind of another generic overview of some of the other toys that they have here, including this one called Kinder Blocks. So being in India, of course, was a very interesting experience. This is my first time ever in India, first time ever in Asia even, so it was really cool. Of course, while I was here trying to do some Lego shopping, that was obviously not the primary purpose of this trip. I was here on vacation, here to explore. So here are a couple clips of some of the really fun things I got to do in India. It was just so cool to see such a cool country, and that was so unique and somewhere I'd never been before. I got to do things, of course, like go to the beach. I got to ride on rickshaws. More on that coming very soon. You guys should make sure you stay tuned to my Instagram and all my other social medias for that, because that'll be really cool. Of course, while I was there, I did get to celebrate Diwali as well with some friends, which was really cool, and that was a whole spectacular spectacular to see. The fireworks there were absolutely incredible. I've never seen anything like that, even though it does get a little crazy for sure. And then after a couple days into the trip, I even ventured further down south into Mumbai, which is called the town portion, and I got to do some even more Lego shopping at what I'd argue is probably the coolest store that I found on this trip. Honestly, finding the store was pretty unique. We were in the Calaba area of Mumbai checking out the market, and my friend and I were walking on the street, and all of a sudden we saw this store with the Lego logo literally hanging in front, and I was like, this has gotta be good.
Whoa, I see a Lego sign.
They actually even had the Lego logo on their shirts there. So this was pretty sick. The very first thing I saw basically when I came into the store here is the Lego Ideas Treehouse here. This one obviously has been retired for a few years, but it was still at market value, and they did have a bunch of other sets here as well. Some of them were more recently retired, and then others were current ones on the shelves. They had a lot of larger sets here. This toy store in fact had most of the largest ones I've seen on this trip. A lot of the other toy stores just had some small ones. And then at the back of the store here, they actually had an entire wall with all the different Lego sets on it. One of the coolest things I saw obviously was that they had the brand new Wall-E set right here, and just for context on this one cost 8,499 rupees, which is about $135 Canadian, and it just goes to show how expensive Lego in India is, because this set in Canada retails for just $90. So they had a huge variety of different sets here, including like this Lego Technic one for 3,199 rupees. And overall, like, they just had a huge variety of themes. As you can see, nothing was really organized here. Everything was just on its side. It's very difficult to kind of find what you're looking for, but again, like I said earlier in this video, you pretty much kind of have to have an idea of what you're looking for, and the employees are very helpful here. It's not really like a Lego store where you just go in and you look at the front of the boxes and browse and see what they have. The employees here treat you very nicely. They do kind of follow you around and try and help you find the product that you're looking for, so it's a better idea when you come in kind of with something in mind, and they're able to help you find it a lot better versus just coming in here and trying to browse, because there's just so much product and so little space. Like, everything is just kind of shoved here, which is crazy. Just the way all the boxes and everything like that were displayed as well. Sometimes I wasn't sure if it was like a rare or retired set or just like one currently on the market. The boxes were all in variable condition as well, so even if it was a brand new set, sometimes it was super destroyed looking, sometimes it was very sun faded, and I noticed this in a lot of the stores. So again, you're not really sure if you're getting like a brand new set that just came out a few weeks ago or one that has been in the back stock room for years and years and years and it's really retired. It's really cool to see everything there, and just to see all the different sets, of course, that they have on display, and to try and compare and contrast all of the different prices that we pay for a set here versus what we'd pay for a set, you know, back in North America. At this store here, I also found a bunch of poly bags, which is cool. A lot of these ones are actually in the paper with a few plastic ones mixed in. They have a lot of brand new ones here, like the Ninjago Rising, some Lego City ones, some Lego Creator 3-in-1s. I wanted to go through here and see if there was any new or ones that I hadn't seen yet. I believe all the prices for these were about 399 rupees, which is actually not too bad. That's about 650 Canadian or about 450 Canadian, which is pretty much what's actually expected on Lego poly bags here in North America. And I did actually find one that I don't have in my Lego collection, which is cool. This is a Lego Christmas one. I'm sure this is going to come to North America at some point, but I figured I would go ahead and pick it up here just because I want to be able to do a episode of Mini Build Monday on it. Of course, even though I didn't find anything crazy rare or like any really retired sets or anything like that at good deals, I still really enjoyed checking out the store because it was pretty fun. After the store, I just went and continued my day going through all the different markets and this area of Mumbai, and I actually stumbled across another toy store that also had a crazy selection of Lego. I was pretty excited to check out this store because they actually had Lego in the window, so of course I had to go on in and check it out. As you guys can see, this store here had a massive selection of Lego. Of course, it's just like the other store where you can only see the sides of the boxes, and then with the additional labels on it from the manufacturer, it kind of makes it even harder to see. Here, the sets were packed in so densely here. When I tried to pull out a set, something else came flying down, and as I said, this kind of goes back to the fact that you kind of just ask the employees to find what you're looking for. They did have this really cool Lego Friends watch right here, as well as a couple Lego Marvel poly bags, which again, I almost dropped because it was super packed in here, and they had a bunch of other sets here as well. I also found this Lego Movie 2 watch, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know when this retired or anything like that, but Lego Movie 2 is obviously pretty old, and then as I said, it's really hard to see what else they have here, but you can see they've got a variety like Lego Cities, we've got Lego Marvel, Lego Ninjago, and so much more. Just some other things in terms of like how shops work in India. As I mentioned, the employees are always always really helpful. So here I'm just kind of pointing to the set that I wanted to see, and the employee so generously grabbed it for me and allowed me to take a look. You just kind of look around, and any other set you want to see, they will go ahead and grab it. You can really see up here the ton, sun damaged boxes that I was talking to you about. Then of course they had some other poly bags up here as well. And overall, I just wanted to spend a little bit more time kind of rooting through the shelves of the store because they had a pretty cool selection. A couple days later in my trip, I went back into the town again, and this time I went to Crawford Market, which is a huge market in Mumbai that's known for selling a lot of goods like food goods and other household essentials and things like that. While I didn't find any actual Lego at the market itself, it was still really cool to explore around for a few hours. Afterwards, when I left the market, I ended up exploring the various streets around it, which I learned were even more filled with different shops and things like that, including a bunch of toy ones where I started to take a look for some Lego. You guys are already able to see this one is on a very, very busy street with a lot of things going on, and one of the very first things I noticed when walking up to the store was the huge sign that said, "Please remove your shoes." So obviously I did just that. This was the first experience I've ever had being asked to remove shoes to go in a store before, and there go my white socks. But you guys can see on the inside here, this store is just lined full with toys. So while unfortunately I didn't see any Lego at first, I did find this city set right here, which is not a Lego city set, it's just like an alternate brick brand set, I guess you should say. And then I wasn't too interested in that, so I continued looking around seeing if I missed any Lego, where lo and behold, I did find some Lego Ninjago watches right here. Not really interested in any of these, but it was still pretty cool to see them. They had a bunch of different ones there. They also had these random puzzle sets right here, but unfortunately there was no other Lego here in this store. So back onto the streets I went, where I found this store right here called Wonderful Toys and Gifts, but then when I went inside, I was told that it was closed. Turns out it wasn't actually closed to everybody, but it was just closed to me. So apparently the streets that I'm on is more of a wholesale district here. I missed the signs at first, but you can see them in the window there that they do not sell to the general public. They actually just sell to wholesalers. That's probably why I haven't really been able to find any Lego. But of course, that's not going to stop me from having a good time. Even though a lot of these were wholesale shops, I still wanted to explore it around for myself. So I continued walking through the market right here, kept stumbling onto a bunch of other markets as well. They were kind of divided up into different goods and services that they sell in different buildings, which I thought was really cool. And honestly, I just spent hours and hours wandering these streets and just seeing what I could find. It was pretty fun, even though I was pretty unsuccessful on the Lego front. If anyone's ever traveled with me before, you know I'm a pretty big frolicker. I just like to walk around and explore and look at new things. I can keep myself entertained for hours, so that's exactly what I did here. And then right before I left the market, in my final stop, I actually found this toy store right here that was selling a bunch of toys. You can see from the window they had a ton of brick built toys. I wasn't sure if they were going to have any Lego on the inside, and when I went in here, you can see they did have a ton of toys. They had a ton of brick built sets you can see in a bunch of different themes. However, unfortunately, they did not have any Lego. At one point though, I did think I did find some Lego sets. However, I found out it was just the Knockoff Lego logo. I thought these were pretty funny right here because they kind of reminded me of Playmobil. They were a mix of like Lego and Playmobil, and like they had a helicopter here, like a military one, which I'm like, I know this is definitely not Lego, and it was just kind of cool to see some of the other different sets that they have. After leaving that store there, I was pretty shopped out for the day, so I just spent the rest of my day just exploring Mumbai, checking things out, and having a really great time. I know this isn't a travel channel, but I really enjoyed this trip just because there was so much to see and do here, and every day was super exciting, and I was really just enjoying getting to explore and check everything out. Later that night, I did film a little test video for something that I'm going to be filming a little bit later in the week. You guys will have to stay tuned for that, and of course, on my way home, I did encounter a bunch more Diwali celebrations, which are really cool. Like I said, you guys, the fireworks here are absolutely insane. Speaking of Diwali, of course, that was one of the reasons why I was here in India, so the next few days I didn't actually do any shopping because all of the stores were closed. At one point, I actually found this store right here, which you could see right in the window that they were selling Lego, and they also had a Lego Ninjago display case, which I thought was really cool. However, unfortunately, this was closed, but it was cool because I could see a bunch of Lego sets in the window there, like some Lego Creator 3-in-1s, and it would have been really cool, of course, to check that out. But that's okay, because I'm not really buying Lego on this trip. Like you guys have kind of seen by now, I haven't really been able to find anything rare or exclusive or retired or anything like that, and the prices of Lego are very expensive here. It is way more affordable for me to buy the same sets back home and not have to bring them in my luggage or anything like that, so I didn't really do any Lego shopping. And over the next few days, I just continued to explore India and have a great time on my vacation. I was spending time with friends, I was spending time alone, and just trying to take in in and see as much of the city as I could. On one of my evening strolls around Mumbai, I did find this incredible looking Toys R Us here. The store looked massive and it looked really fun, but as you guys can see, unfortunately, it was out of business. And then before I knew it, it was already my second last day in India, so I went over to explore the Cho Bazaar.
This is my second last day in India here, so the time for Lego shopping is almost finished.
These antique markets were absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, I didn't find any Lego or anything like that at any of them, but I did pick up some pretty cool souvenirs because I've actually never seen any stores like it before. A little bit later on in the evening, I did find this toy store right here, which is pretty cool, so I went on inside to check it out. They had a lot of cool things, including a bunch of alternate Brick Brand sets, and then they did have a bunch of Lego as well. Like you could see right beside the knockoff Lego Minecraft, they did have a Lego Speed Champion right here, and then behind that they had like City and Creator, they had Duplo, and then this one really looked like a Creator 3-in-1, although it was not a Creator 3-in-1, funny enough, and then more of the My World sets up there. And again, while I didn't buy any Lego at this store, I actually bought this for my little cousin, so that is really cool. I think he's gonna really like that, so I guess I did buy some toys on this trip. And then unfortunately, before I knew it, my entire trip to India had already come to an end. You guys have seen from this video, I had such an amazing time here in India. I got to see so much and do so much, and yeah, unfortunately, I ended up back at the airport right where this entire trip began.
Alright you guys, and now here I am back at the airport, and I am on my way back to Toronto. This Lego shopping adventure is technically officially over, but I'm gonna wrap it up once I arrive back in Toronto with some final thoughts. But actually, before we get to Toronto, I made one last quick stop. I have a 2-hour layover here in Amsterdam, so of course I came into the city instead of just sitting at the airport, and while I'm here, there is one thing I want to check out. And that is the Lego store. So unfortunately, because it is not even before 10 o'clock in the morning, the Lego store is closed, and I already am on my way back to the airport because my layover is almost finished, but I figured I would just come and check it out and see how it looks. This is the only Lego store that I've seen on this trip because Mumbai didn't have one, but of course I've been here before and given a full tour of it, so if you guys want to see that on my YouTube channel, please go check it out. But you can see the build at the front here is still incredible. I just love the minifigure over here with the cheese, and of course all the tulips are really cool here as well. And then of course we've got some sets in the window there. Oh no way, it actually looks like they're going to be doing a make and take or something a little bit later today because they've got all of the tables set up. Man, that is so unfortunate. I'm not going to be here for that. They've also got all the Halloween sets here as well, which are pretty cool. Whoa, check out all these flowers. Yeah, you guys, this is a very cool Lego store, so if you haven't checked out my video on that, definitely make sure you do so. But now in the meantime, it is unfortunately time for me to head back to the airport.
So as you guys can tell, I am back in Canada here, and I just wanted to say that was one of the coolest trips I've ever been on. Obviously, you guys saw from this very long shopping vlog, I had a ton of fun. Of course, I got to do some Lego shopping. I really only bought that one poly bag, and you'll see that on a future episode of Mini Build Monday. But the coolest experience of all of this to me was just going to a new country, getting to explore a new culture and explore a new city. Well, of course, I did spend some time doing some Lego shopping like you saw. 99% of my trip was just hanging out with my friends and checking out all the new places and all the cool new landmarks and the beautiful architecture and the market, and of course like just learning another culture and trying delicious foods. And yeah, I can't even express how great that trip was. It was amazing. I took thousands and thousands of photos and made memories that will last a lifetime and learned so many new things and had such a nice fresh perspective on everything. So I really had a good time on that trip. I really enjoyed it, and I thought the Lego shopping was really fun. Unfortunately, of course, they didn't have a Lego store in Mumbai where I was, but I did get to see some Lego while I was there, and it was just interesting even seeing how the different stores work. Like in Canada and North America, you very much go into a store and you do your own shopping, but there they had so many staff members who are so willing to help you to look for the items that you were, searching for and to help you get it off the shelves. And it was just interesting the different way the people were, and like the dynamics there, and like even just things of like a lot of the shopkeepers or even in customers not needing to wear shoes in the store was just so foreign to me. So it was really, really fun, and I'm really glad that I had a chance to go. Of course, like I wasn't really on the hunt for too much Lego. Based on what I've learned from India, it doesn't seem like the place where a lot of people collect Lego. Of course, they are selling it, and in one of the stores I was at, like I did watch a kid buy a set. But like speaking to my friend and speaking to her friends, like They didn't have a lot of Lego growing up just because it is so expensive there, and you can get other toys for a lot cheaper of a price. So, you know, in kids' toys, like kids would rather probably have more toys than one like premium toy. And Lego's always been a premium brick brand, and that definitely translates in India. So there didn't seem to be like a huge Lego collecting culture there or anything like that. So there wasn't a lot of like crazy, like I didn't really find rare figures or retired sets or, you know, special things like that. It was a lot of things that are currently on the market, but it was still really cool to see. So I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to go to India, of course, for a vacation first, and then getting to do the Lego shopping and to make the other Lego video I made while I was there, just made it all that more special. So I'm really, really glad that I had the chance to do that. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Of course, if you did enjoy, please don't forget to like, comment, and of course, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'm looking forward to doing more travel vlogs like this sometime in the future. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.